My mom walked out when I was a baby, leaving my dad to raise me alone. Calling her mom feels wrong. She was more like a stranger who popped in every now and then to pretend she cared. Even when the court gave her visitation rights, she almost never showed, and she dodged child support so often that she even landed in jail twice. My dad, Mark, was my real parent, working himself to the bone to give me a good life. When I was 6, she married Phil, a man who, for reasons I'll never understand, acted like he was my savior. I barely saw them, maybe 5 times in 8 years, and every visit was awkward and fake. Phil tried to insert himself as a father figure, even showing up to a school Father's Day event and offering to step in. I shut that down fast. My dad didn't need replacing. Meanwhile, Sarah and Phil built a whole new family without me. 3 kids I didn't even know the names of. I wasn't invited to birthdays, holidays, nothing. It was like I'd been erased. Then, when I was 14, tragedy struck. My dad died suddenly of a heart attack. One moment we were talking about dinner plans. The next, he was gone. I didn't even get to say goodbye. I was numb. After the funeral, everything moved too fast. Our home, my childhood home, had to be sold. And I was left without the one person who'd ever truly been there for me. I didn't have much say in where I went after Dad died. My uncles, Pete and Rob, took me in without hesitation. Always been more like big brothers, so I knew I was safe. Still, leaving my childhood home, the last place tied to Dad, was gut-wrenching. Then, out of nowhere, Mom and her husband Phil decided to care. Sarah didn't even show up to the funeral, claiming she had no time. Phil did, though with his fake concerned face, offering me a place to live. This from a guy I'd seen maybe 5 times in my life. I told him no, I was staying with Pete and Rob. He tried the whole family's important speech, but where were they when I needed them as a kid? I shut him down hard. He got red, sputtered about how I didn't understand how hard life had been for Sarah. I reminded him my dad had been the one holding everything together. He stormed off. I moved in with my uncles. They didn't push me to get over it. They let me grieve in my own way, and for that, I'll always be grateful. Every corner of that house reminded me of Dad, our cooking in the kitchen. Friday movie nights in the living room. It wasn't just a house. It was my safe place. It was gone, just like him my first night at Pete and Rob's. I barely slept, half expecting Dad to walk in and tell me it'd be okay. But he didn't, and it wasn't. I buried myself in school to avoid the emptiness. But it always came back. You'd think Sarah and Phil would leave me alone. Wrong. Phil kept calling, talking about how Mom had changed and was ready to be there for me now. Ready now. I told him Flatada needed her when I was a kid. It was too late. I stopped answering after that. Life with Pete and Rob wasn't perfect, but it was stable. They showed up for me, and that's all I'd ever wanted. By 27, I had my boundaries set. I kept distant from Sarah and Phil, but stayed lightly in touch with the rest of Mom's family. So, when my grandparents invited me to a birthday party, I didn't expect drama. Matt, my fiancé, couldn't come, so I went to Lance High, eat cake, leave. At first, it was normal. I spotted Sarah and Phil, but kept my distance. They knew where I stood. Apparently, Phil had other plans. I was at the food table, cutting myself a slice of cake when someone tapped my shoulder. I turned and there was Phil, wearing that same fake, over-friendly smile. "Jamie, good to see you," he said, like we were old pals. "Hey Phil," I replied politely, already bracing for trouble. "I heard you're engaged, exciting news." "Yeah, thanks," I said, hoping he'd walk away. Instead, he leaned in. Sarah and I were surprised we didn't get an invite. We're family. After all, I kept my voice even. It was small, just close friends and family. We are family, Jamie. We care about you. That made my jaw clench. Phil, we both know why you weren't invited. Let's not pretend we're close. His smile faltered. I've always tried to be there for you. I'd like to walk you down the aisle. I froze. Walk me down the aisle. The man who wasn't there when I needed someone? Are you kidding me? My voice rose. You think marrying my mom makes you my dad? My dad is dead. He should be the one walking me down the aisle. You're not his replacement. Phil's face reddened. I've done my best to be a father figure, but you never gave me a chance. Your dad kept you away from us. That's why you're angry. That did it. I stepped closer. Don't you dare talk about my dad. He raised me when Sarah bailed. He was there for every scraped knee, every late-night meltdown she wasn't. And now Phil waltzes in, acting like he's earned a spot beside my dad. Please don't, Phil stammered. You're being disrespectful. Be grateful. Grateful for what? You weren't there. Neither was Sarah. My dad was the only one who cared. You're nothing to me? I walked out. The whispers followed, but I didn't care. Later, my aunt texted that I embarrassed them. Good. They had years to show up. Now they don't get to play family the next day. Sarah called, all cold and formal. I'm disappointed. Phil's only tried to help. I laughed. Help. It's only when it's convenient. He marries you and suddenly thinks he's my dad. He's not. He never will be. Sarah went quiet, then shifted the blame, like always. Your father's gone, Jaime. Phil and I are here now. Yeah, now. Where were you when I needed you? Don't pretend showing up now erases the past. She sighed that same annoyed sigh from my childhood. I did my best. No, you left me with Dad and barely showed up. Don't call that your best. I'm your mother. You lost that title a long time ago. Her voice sharpened. You'll regret cutting us out. The only thing I regret is thinking you'd ever care. Don't call me again. I hung up. The weight I'd been carrying for years finally lifted. No more guilt. No more bending to make them feel better. That night, Matt said, you don't owe them anything. Let go. So I did. I blocked their numbers and breathed easier than I had in years. Blocking Sarah and Phil should have been the end of it. Instead, Phil decided to show up at my apartment to announce like we were close. What are you doing here? I asked, blocking the doorway. We need to talk. You've been ignoring us. We deserve a chance to explain. Heard all your excuses. Phil, there's nothing left to explain. He tried to inch inside. Your mom and I want to fix this. We're your family. Family. Where were you when I was growing up? You don't get to vanish for years and then show up when it's convenient. Your dad, don't you dare bring my dad into this. He was there every day. Sarah bailed. And you? You were barely there at all. He bristled. You can't keep blaming us for the past. I'm not living in the past. I just won't rewrite it so you feel better. You and Sarah haven't changed. We've been trying, Jaime. You'll regret cutting us out. I laughed. The only thing I regret is letting you back into my life. You're making a mistake. You'll need us one day. No, Phil. I never did. I slammed the door in his face. He pounded on it, yelling we weren't done. But we were. I turned up the TV until he left. That night, Sarah texted, You'll regret this. Actor again, permanently. Matt just shook his head. They'll never get it. They don't have to. I said, I'm done. And for the first time, I believed it.